a highly developed message center MC. So as you can see, we already spoke about the financial center, the relationships. It is connected to our physical health, emotional balance. Balance is important. It's part of one of the three foundation energy centers. Again, the lower Dantian, Kundalini being the other two, message center being number three. So they literally form a very solid pyramid when we are going through our everyday life. And it's also finding our inner balance and just in general, keeping us grounded, happy, emotionally balanced. So our heart center is vital because when every day we're making decisions into what do I do? What do I eat? How can I help this person? What is the best way to communicate? The heart center is vital also for clear, compassionate communication. So when we are in this labyrinth of life where things can throw us off, none of us are perfect. So not all of us are going to be perfectly grounded and clear-minded the whole time. A lot of us go up and down in our frequency depending on what is happening around us because we are in an environment where there's a lot of different frequencies and vibrations. We can't control that, but what we can control is how grounded we are and what messages are we allowing ourselves to either accept or not accept. If someone is being negative, if they're complaining, if they're cursing, if it's someone we know, we have to make a decision. Do we say something or do we stay quiet? And the paradox of the spiritual journey is that one situation at one time, it might be the right thing to actually say something because the person is ready or open enough to receive it. At another time, the same exact person could, and if the right thing to do is just to be quiet. But that is the whole paradox. And developing our message center will help us figure out what is the right thing to do at the right time. So it allows us to also communicate with our own souls, our higher self, or a spiritual guide, or even divine, even God or Mother Earth, whoever you are inclined to connect with. If your message center is open, you can receive the communication that you are asking for. If you need help in making a decision, or if you get triggered, if someone says something or does something, or something, a disappointing bill or email, it helps us rebalance and figure out, well, what is the lesson in it for me? And this is the path that I really want everyone who participates in my particular programs to get to the point, to be empowered, to know for yourself, this is what's happened. What is the reason? What do I need to do? How do I rebalance? What is the lesson for me? And how can I make it better? Instead of the other choice, which is kind of just giving up or just being like, okay, that's life, and not reflecting on why are these things happening around me. If all we do is just say, okay, that's just what it is, I just accept it, and not think about, well, why is this happening? What is the lesson for me? And not to say that every single time something that happens, that's your exact response, but enough where after you kind of regain, like something happens, and you're like, oh, that's kind of upsetting. We control the thoughts. We get back into our foundation center, the lower Dantian, Kundalini message center, grounding, and ask, okay, this happened. It was disappointing. What is the message? What is the lesson that I need to learn from this? Otherwise, you're just living your life in a chaotic pattern. You're living in a labyrinth where you don't know what is your lesson, and then it will just keep repeating, getting worse until you pay attention, or even worse, you carry it to the next life. Life on the third dimension is literally like living in a labyrinth. We have to figure out where is our opening. What is the lesson for me to learn to grow? Otherwise, we'll just get blocked left, right, and center. And when we are on the spiritual journey and we develop our message center to a very high degree, it's like how we're looking at this maze right now. We're asking for guidance from a light being, from God, from source, from a teacher, from your spiritual guides, from your own soul. And when we look at it from a bird's eye view, from their view, and we understand what they're guiding us to do, we can navigate this really complicated human life in a more effective and efficient, much less painful manner. And that's why the message center, it really is vital, because if we don't, we're always at the mercy of whatever happens outside of us without understanding why. And how can we improve our life if we're always just looking at outside? And this takes practice. It's not that, okay, you know this knowledge now, you know this wisdom, you will do a practice. It's not that, okay, you have all the answers, you're good. It's something that takes constant and consistent effort and understanding to understand the deeper layers and to see it from a higher and higher and higher perspective. Because once you grow on your spiritual journey, then this perspective is not going to help you anymore. You need a higher perspective to help you on that level. Then you grow and grow and grow. Then again, you need a higher perspective to help you on that level. So it's an ongoing journey. And as far as we can grow, then you're progressing. Then you're doing your soul purpose. You're doing what your soul wants you to do. And hopefully, if you're learning your lessons, you don't have to repeat the same lessons. And that is very important, because none of us want to stay stuck in the same situation over and over again.